Welcome back to San Antonio Living. Yesterday, we kicked off a series that I'm calling Homeless in SA. Basically, we're putting a face on the city's homeless because you'll find that most of them look just like you and me. We're sharing their struggles and talking about what, as a community, we can do together to help these people get back on their feet. Meet today's family. It's the Pike family.
I was injured on the job. I left a domestic violence situation.
And that's how quickly things changed for Jade, a 29-year-old mom living in a shelter with her 4-year-old son, Declan.
This is when we were at the battered women's shelter. You know, I tried to get as many pictures as possible of happy moments, and this is one of them that I really, really enjoy.
She's been in a shelter for close to a year now.
I try not to be there as much as humanly possible. If I am there, it's because I have downtime and I'm in my room. I'm making phone calls, or I'm, you know, going through paperwork that I need to go through, or starting to figure out what am I going to do for the next week, things of that nature. I try not to really associate with other people. I need to work on my own stuff. So, and a lot of other people want to bring in drama or whatever. You know, just there's a level of complacency while living there, and I don't want to involve myself in that. So,
do you want out?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Jade recently started working with Dr. Gia Edwards to make that happen.
When I first met them, I think it was the weight of the world was on their shoulders, and now it's, I can do this. Mm-hmm. I have a future. I have a hope.
But right now, hope just isn't enough. Getting into the shelter was easy, but according to Jade, getting out is hard.
I've always known that telling somebody I live in a homeless shelter comes with a huge degree of negativity. If I tell people in a store, oh yeah, I live up the road at, you know, at this place, and they're like, oh, isn't that a shelter? Yeah, it is. And I'm instantaneously judged for it.
Her address makes it hard to get a good paying job, and the lack of a car makes it hard to get to a job.
It takes 4 hours out of my day just to take my son to daycare and pick him up. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, the bus is great, it's cheap, it's wonderful, but, you know, that's 4 hours that I could be looking for a job, or that I could be at a job.
How's Declan doing in the shelter?
He's regressing. He's 4, and he's starting to act like he's 2 and 3 again. When we were at the battered women's shelter, he was 2, and he regressed so badly, he started acting like he was 11 months old. So living there has definitely taken a toll on him.
My life would be so much easier if... Finish that sentence.
If I had met my goals. I mean, that's kind of in anybody's life, though. You know, we want to meet our goals. It just takes time to get there.
I have to tell you that that story is so moving to me, because when I met Jade, I told her, you could be one of my friends. You know, that's the face of someone who is homeless. And joining us this morning, Dr. Gia Edwards with Free World Ministry, and Freya Pruitt, the editor of TTW Magazine. These are the two women who have really stepped up and brought this issue to me, and together we're doing something about it. You know, we're sharing the stories of these families and trying to make some changes. What do you see? What do you see when you watch that back?
I see this amazing woman who has fight and vigor, and that wants something different in her life than she has now.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm so proud of her. I'm amazed. I'm just immensely proud of her. So.
What do you see, Freya, when you see that back?
I see a huge, amazing human being that needs a break, that doesn't need to be judged.
Yeah.
This is the new face of homelessness. We can't put a face anymore. There are people living in $100,000 BMWs as a home. Of course, they could sell it too, but that's another story, but whatever. But she doesn't need to be judged. She needs to be helped. And that's what G is doing, is to coach behavior, and then we step in, and it takes someone like you to go, wow, not just this is a story, but you have the heart to affect that change in people.
Well, you know, I watch her story, and a lot, because you learn something whenever you do a story about anything, right? And so before I did this story, I would say to myself, as I think a lot of people would, well, why are you still homeless? Why can't you get out of the shelter? Why don't you have a job?
Common.
Why don't you have a car, right?
Yeah, it's common.
When you talk to someone who's in that situation, you understand how hard it is.
It is.
4 hours it's taking her to make the commute to get her kid to daycare so that she can then go get a job on the bus. That makes sense to me. I get that.
Right.
So I really want people to kind of understand what these people are going through.
It's so frustrating for them sometimes too, because it's common, because we don't mean to be judging or judgmental, but we say, you know, really, if you wanted to, you could go get a job. If you really wanted to, you wouldn't be homeless. But if you think 2 hours to go get her child at the daycare, and she can't miss a bus because then she's after the time, and if she's after the time, she gets in trouble, and then they charge her. So I mean, it's so intricate, and it doesn't mean they don't want to do it.
You know, it's so simple to fix something like this, and you know, a lot of times we ask for things here on San Antonio Living. I'm kind of just asking for your help. If you watch that story and something clicked in your head, and you said, you know what, I have a job for this woman, or you know what, I have a home for this woman, or you know what, I might be able to buy groceries for this woman. We want to know about it, right? I mean, it's that simple.
Step up.
And people are contacting us already, and we want to thank everybody for doing that, because we've been getting a lot of donations and things like that. And I want that momentum to keep going.
Yes.
It's important.
It is very important. So I do thank everyone that's contacted Freya and everyone that's contacted Dr. Gia and those of you who have responded to me too. We're going to continue this series all week long and see what we can do. See if we can change any lives here.
We can.
I think we can.
We're already doing it.
So here's the deal. If you think there's something that you can do, here's how you do it. You can contact Dr. Gia. She's with Free World Ministry at Chase Bank. The information is there on your screen. You can also find her on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Free World Ministry. All the information is there. She will talk to you, let you know what you can do. Freya is the one who sort of got this ball rolling, and she is the editor of TTW Magazine. I know you've got a new one coming out in September, and we're going to be talking about that. Check her out at transformingtodaysworld.com. All the information there so you can get a hold of her as well.